Hello everybody, this is Elizabeth, or Liz, however you know me. I'm with you today because I was encouraged to make a video to help all of us remember where to put our attention at times like the time we're experiencing currently. Whether we've seen natural disasters in the past, other health challenges like SARS or HIV or H1N1, we're aware that these times of difficulty don't last, but they can be quite overwhelming during the process of their unfolding. So as I was thinking today about the way I am trying to approach this experience, and I'll just share with you my personal experience to see if it might resonate, I noticed that I'm aware that all the challenges we've come up against, whether they were natural disasters, whether they were illnesses, whether they have been times of grief or loss in your own life, require us to attend to all aspects of who we are. We hear the phrase often, body, mind, and spirit. We hear it so much it almost starts to lose its meaning. So when I think about the coronavirus experience we're having currently, I think of the specifics of medical care that we need to attend to at a time like this, emotional and personal support that we might need at times like this, and also the spiritual or energetic or whatever you might call the faith-based portion of what you are. Whether you are a practicing Muslim, whether you are Jewish, whether you are a born-again Christian, whether you're a yoga practitioner, whether you're agnostic, each of us is composed of all of these three things in our belief system. And in order to manage any challenge, we have to attend to all the parts of what we are. So when we think, for example, about the medical challenges of coronavirus that we're working with currently, we want to remember to try to separate fact from the frenzy. In this technological day and age, there is so much information, and times like this tend to breed unexpected angles and perspectives on things. So I try to go straight to the source. I like to look at the CDC, or the Centers of Disease Control website, and I like to look at WHO, or the World Health Organization's websites. This is the kind of place where I can print up the guidelines on how to keep my home safe and disinfect. I can print up tips on what to do if I start to feel unwell. And you may prefer to just bookmark those pages, but finding a source of information that's factual for you can be really helpful. And to skip over all the other stuff that's hearsay or conjecture. I think it's also important that when we're working with a contagious illness like this, that we all assume a measure of responsibility to do your practical part, not only for your own health, but for the health of your immediate family. Even pets are under consideration with this particular virus. And of course, the health of our neighborhoods and our communities. Part of being responsible is remembering that I might be totally resilient. Maybe I haven't been sick in 10 years. But we want to remember that this illness is spreading through what they call community spread. And that means that the officials don't know how or where it's spreading. It can be on any surface, and this virus is said to be able to last for up to days on surfaces that aren't cleaned. And the virus can hang in the air for hours. So what that means is that even if I'm feeling well and I have a resilient immune system, I want to be responsible and remember that perhaps the clerk at the local gas station has a 4-year-old daughter with type 1 diabetes, and that child is not going to be resilient to the germs that I may spread without being responsible. So we want to just remember that when we're looking at the medical or physical aspect of what challenge we're dealing with right now. I think it's also important to consider next our emotional state. Most of us have heard by now everything we could possibly want to know about this illness. We don't need to keep up with everything that's happening across the world. Instead, we might choose to go on a bit of a media cleanse. Maybe we're going to just check in with our fact-oriented websites and let the rest of it go. Maybe we'll even close our circle more and we'll just look into the organizations that affect us directly. For example, is school closing early today for my kids? Is the library closed? Is my knitting group meeting? Is my church closed or meeting? So we can choose to take in or not take in information that might be fear-based, that might be frenzy-based, that might be pure conjecture. This is also a really good time to go on a positive energy binge. So watching our favorite funny movies, watching a home video from 10 years ago with family members over a bowl of popcorn, picking up a favorite book that makes us smile. I like to look at my gardening magazines. I even read through old cards that people have given me in the past at times like this. Anything to keep myself in the understanding that right now, my life is blessed. And although I can't close my heart to those who are struggling and suffering, I can create more positive energy in my own life and send that out into the world by staying positive myself if I'm well. I think it's also important to remember that if we are needing to stay separate, not to isolate ourselves. The beauty of technology is that if I'm sick and I need to self-isolate, I can still text and ask people to send me a picture of their cute pet. I can still email and ask someone to send me some prayerful or encouraging words for the day. It's not necessary for us to cut ourselves off from the blessed things around us just because the media might be going into a bit of a tailspin at times like this. There's still a lot of wonderful things in the world around us and in the people around us. So connecting to our loved ones, connecting to our support groups. Get yourself on the prayer chain if you're struggling with fear. Ask your friends to do positive affirmations for you in the morning if you're not feeling well. And stay connected to the positives. So even when I'm together with a friend on the phone, I don't choose to talk about what's happening. I don't talk about the politics and I don't talk about the fallout. I focus on what they're doing and how they are and how we can uplift each other. Finally, we are aware that regardless of our philosophy, our spiritual practice, wherever we put our attention, that is what we grow, both emotionally as well as spiritually or energetically. So this is the time to really draw ourselves into the practice that works best for us. Whether that's being a part of your church or synagogue, even from afar, reading your scriptures, whether it's doing your asana practice, sitting quietly in meditation, going to your temple and just being in silence, if that's a safe location for you health-wise. But allowing ourselves to let the practice we practice work for us. This really is a rubber meets the road kind of moment, isn't it? This is where we see just how much potency our faith has, our positive outlook has. And I don't wake up every morning, happy and gleeful, but I do always start my day with an opportunity to move into that space, regardless of the dreams I had, regardless of what happened yesterday. I take time, and maybe this is a time for you to do the same if you haven't been lately. If you don't have a personal practice, a faith-based practice, or a positive philosophy, I'll just share with you some things you might consider when you choose to have a little quiet time. Maybe while you're even driving your car, or maybe while you're washing the dishes or preparing them for the dishwasher, however you do it. For example, I like to pray or affirm that light will grow in the hearts around me, that people I come into contact with will be open to my kindness and will share that kindness that they feel with others around them in need. I like to pray or affirm that many hearts will be open to their highest truth at a time like this, that they will feel the connection to their faith, that they'll feel the connection to their loved ones, that they'll feel the connection to nature. I like to affirm that all the people I love are filled with abundance and health. I like to ask protection for them each day, whether it's from this kind of a virus or it's just while they're driving to work to be safe. I like to imagine that civilizations rise in a peaceful way, that men and women stand hand in hand, that we embrace the animals and creatures around us. Whatever it is that you value, this is the time to just be allowing yourself to focus on that a little bit each day, if you haven't been, and to send out that positive to others. May the fruits of my time in prayer today bless all people. May all be free of suffering is one of the great Buddhist affirmations, but you don't have to be a Buddhist to say that. May everyone in my temple be blessed with health today. May all of my neighbors be filled with happiness and optimism today. Last but definitely not least, this is the time to remember that we are all connected. So whether you are serving the greater collective good by staying positive, by being kind to others, by going on a toxic media detox, everything that we do benefits everyone else. And so each time you choose to start your day with an awareness that this is not the first crisis our world has had and it will not be the last, and to send forth the intention that this will resolve quickly, and that as it does, we will grow greater and more harmonious communities, you're a part of the solution. So thank you for being a part of the solution, for doing whatever you feel is right for you to really grow that blessedness at this time. If you've enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please share with a friend. And know that as you pass on your positive intention, either through sending a link or sending a prayer or sending a friendly text or phone call, that right there you are being part of the solution and helping this challenge turn into an opportunity for all of us. Thank you, and be blessed.